So, if you missed yesterday's video, you might not know that my bank, Barclays, okay, they leak things about future Apple products occasionally for some reason, and so today we have more information from the analysts over there regarding iPhone 13 and possibly faster Wi-Fi being built into these new phones. I'll be honest, it's not the most exciting feature in the world, but this is pretty much the only story that I have to report. So, of course, without further ado, let's just delve into this. Make sure to like and subscribe, click that bell notification, and with that being said, let's just tuck in. So, of course, a common issue people have with 5G is, of course, the fact that 5G isn't really that useful in 2020 because most of us are at home on Wi-Fi, so of course we can't take advantage of these super fast speeds. But not to worry, because Timothy has clearly thought of this, and so he's planning to launch a new version of Wi-Fi tech in the next iPhones called Wi-Fi 6E, which isn't the most impressive name, but I assure you, the tech is sort of impressive. So according to Barclays analysts Blaine Curtis, Thomas O'Malley and Tim Long, which by the way are the most British names I've heard in a while. Anyways, these guys have been in discussion with some Apple suppliers because for some reason a bank has connections to Apple suppliers. But anyways, they mention that some chip makers are getting Wi-Fi 6E chips ready for the next iPhone. So of course, a common question is going to be, what exactly is Wi-Fi 6E? Well, like the name suggests, it is based on the current Wi-Fi 6 technology in many smartphones, but this takes advantage of the new 6 GHz spectrum. This additional spectrum will provide a lot more airspace beyond existing 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz Wi-Fi, resulting in increased bandwidth and less interference for devices that support Wi-Fi 6E. Wow, that was a lot of words, but essentially what this means in layman's terms is that if you're going to be taking advantage of Wi-Fi 6E on your new iPhone 13 and your next door neighbor is some old lady using some 90s version of Wi-Fi and trying to still access the internet, then their older spectrum won't interfere with this new 6 GHz spectrum, and so basically you can take advantage of the full raw power of Wi-Fi 6E without being interfered by other older spectrums around it. In addition, this 6 GHz spectrum is a game changer because it'll give you the ability to finally use 160 MHz for high bandwidth applications like AR and VR. So I'm assuming the mention of AR and VR could be referring to Apple Glass because of course we know it should be launching either by late 2021 or early 2022, so possibly the addition of Wi-Fi 6E could further enhance the experience of Apple Glass when it's paired to your iPhone. So right now this all sounds like sunshine and rainbows, but of course, much like anything in life, there are some cons, and this Wi-Fi 6E isn't all perfect. So the problems with Wi-Fi 6E is actually quite similar to the problems with 5G. For example, to take advantage of Wi-Fi 6E, you of course need a Wi-Fi 6E enabled router, and I'm assuming many people don't upgrade their routers very often. I definitely don't. So of course, that's going to be a huge chunk of consumers who can't take advantage of this technology. And of course, 5G is in a similar state because I can't take advantage of 5G right now because my carrier doesn't support it, and so I've got to wait till my carrier supports 5G to take advantage of the technology. And so similarly, I do think Wi-Fi routers and Wi-Fi providers need to take advantage of this technology, and then it will become sort of useful. Also, again, like 5G, this doesn't penetrate through walls easily, so of course you've got to have a ton of routers around the house to take advantage of these speeds because they can't travel very far, and so yes, much like millimeter wave 5G, this is going to be very restricted, and so I guess it works in a home environment because of course it's a very limited space, but either way, I don't think many people are going to be investing into many routers around the house for Wi-Fi 6E, so this is very much going to be a technology that's nice to have and might future-proof the phone, but you're definitely not going to be taking advantage of it for at least 2 to 3 years. So yes, that's pretty much Wi-Fi 6E, and I was about to fall asleep reading that because I really don't care about new versions of Wi-Fi. I think the current Wi-Fi tech we have in the iPhones is really good, and so I highly doubt this will be groundbreaking. I think much like 5G, it will become the new standard in a few years, but it will be pretty pointless. So yeah, there's that. And I've just realized how short this video is, so let's cover another story briefly. Talking about useless, we have information from Ming Chi Kuo, which is, yeah, it's pretty useless. So of course I have endless respect for Ming Chi Kuo and his rumors. He's been giving us information about Apple and their future lineup for years now, but this report makes no sense because why did we need him to give us confidential information about this topic? And of course, this has to do with the iPhone 13s and when they're coming out. So guys, I can't believe this myself, but Ming Chi Kuo has somehow predicted the launch month of the iPhone 13, and that will be September 2021. How does he know this information? This man is a genius. I'm kidding, by the way, in case you couldn't recognize the sarcasm, because of course the iPhone 13s are coming out in September. How was there any doubt over that? Because guys, if you use something called common sense, you will recognize that pretty much every iPhone since the iPhone 5 has been released in September, but of course the iPhone 12s weren't released in September, and that's because we had something called the plague, and it pretty much ruined everything. So of course Apple had to delay the iPhones, but of course now they know this plague exists, and so they can be more prepared for 2021. It just makes complete sense. Anyways, in case you needed the word of the almighty Ming Chi Kuo, yes, he says mass production of the iPhone 13 is back on regular schedule because of course everybody in China, the back to normal factories will be up and running. So yes, it makes sense for them to be back on schedule. So yes, for the guy at the back who is still unaware, the iPhone 13s will be coming out in September, unless of course we have some sort of new virus that's spreading, but that's obviously not happening, right?
Bruh.
Okay, 2021 is gonna be worse than 2020 somehow, so yes, prepare for the worst. Maybe there will be some delay after all. Anyways, on that bad news, let's end it here. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click that bell notification. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. See you, peeps.